Welcome to Emilac Online Tutorial. And before us is this question that says, given that f of x mapped 5x minus 3 and g of x mapped out 2x plus 5, show that g of f, the inverse of g of f equals the inverse of f of g, the inverse of g, right? Okay, let me repeat that again. Show that the inverse of g of f equals the inverse of g, the inverse of f of the inverse of g. Okay, so first of all, what we need to do here first here, let us first of all find g of f. All right, so g of f is the same thing as saying g of f, which is also g of f of x. All right, so which this implies, this implies taking f and putting it into what? G. So what we need to do here now will now be that g of f will now be, our f is 5x minus 3. Now inserting this or putting this into g. So wherever you see x in g, put this O value. So here we have 2 into 5x minus 3 then plus 5. So here we have, opening the bracket, and you have 10x minus 6 plus 5. So here you have 10x minus 1. All right, so this is g of f. Now let us now find the inverse. Okay, so in this case now, let g of f of x equals y. So here we have that y equals 10x minus 1. Now let us make this x the subject of relation. What we need to do first is add 1 to both sides to eliminate here this minus 1 here. We have y plus 1 equals 10x minus 1 plus 1. So here you have y plus 1 equals what? 10x. Right? All right, now let us divide through by 10. Divide by 10, divide by 10. This cancel out. So x here will give us y plus 1 over 10. So, and as such here now, g of the inverse of g of f will now give us x plus 1 over what? 10. Which means this x here now is now being replaced with the inverse of g of f, and our y here is replaced by x. All right, so let us now solve this. Now f of x, here we can see that f of x equals 5x minus 3. So let us find the inverse function of f. So replace this by y equals 5x minus 3. Now so add 3 to both sides. Y plus 3 equals 5x minus 3 plus 3. So we're left with y plus 3 equals 5x. Now divide 5 by both sides, and this is to eliminate this. So we are left with what? That x equals to y plus 3 over 5. So replacing this one now with the inverse of f, now equals x plus 3 over 5. Right? So okay, now let us now solve for the inverse function of g. Now we can see that g equals 2x plus 5. Okay, so let us replace this by y equals 2x plus 5. And let us make this x the subject of formula. So here we can now have it as subtract 5 from both sides. Here we have 5 minus y minus 5 equals 2x plus 5 minus 5. So we're left with y minus 5 equals 2x. Now divide both sides by 2, and this is to ensure that x is the subject of the relation. So here we have that x equals to y minus 5 over 2. So here now we can now say that the inverse function of g will now give us x minus 5 over 2. Okay, now this is now the inverse function of f of the inverse function of g, which means we are now taking the inverse function of g and introducing it into what? The inverse function of what? Of f. So which means is okay, so we are bringing in this and putting it into inverse function of f. So wherever you see x here now, put in this value. So here, all right, so what we need to do further here is to ensure that we introduce this into this. Okay, so from here, putting this into this, so inverse function of f of inverse function of g will now be this, putting this into this. So here we have x minus 5 over 2 plus 3 all over 5. Right, so if you have to open the bracket here, so here we have, this is x minus 5 over 2 plus 3, and this is 1. So we can see here, finding the LCM here, which is 2, and 2 in this is 1 times the whole of this is x minus 5. Now 2 in 1 here is 2 times 3 we have plus 6, then everything over what? 5. So moving further, we can now say this is x minus 5 plus 6 here will give us plus 1 over 2 divided by, so this also same thing as saying x plus 1 over 2 divided by 5. So this will now give us x plus 1 over 2 times 1 over 5, which will give us x plus 1 over, so here you have 10. All right, so you can see here that this is equals to the inverse function of f of the inverse function of, so you can see that this is the same thing as this. So therefore equals x plus 1 over 10. Final answer. Alright, if you love what I've just done, subscribe to my YouTube channel and ensure you click on the notification button to be notified of all my videos. Thank you and God bless you.